Hey, what's up guys, Will here for GSM Arena. The Galaxy S20 Ultra brings the most advanced camera setup we've seen from Samsung, and we felt like the best way to do it justice would be to make a separate camera review that will provide a link to the other review as well. So what do these cameras provide that last year's Galaxy Note 10 couldn't, and is it worth the price? Let's have a look. The Galaxy S20 Ultra's quad camera setup is the crown jewel atop this particular slab of glass and metal. It has a 108 megapixel main camera, a 48 megapixel periscope zoom cam, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a TOF depth sensor. The main camera doesn't have a variable aperture like last year's models, and is missing dual pixel autofocus, but it does something else that's special. It combines 9 pixels into one, so the output is 12 megapixels. With hopefully much lower noise and improved quality. Let's look at some samples. In daylight, image quality is good. Color rendition is lively but not over the top. Dynamic range is wide, though highlights look better than shadows. There's very low noise and you get plenty of detail. However, compared to last year's Galaxy Note 10 Plus, there isn't much more fine detail here, and this rendition could be cleaner. Dynamic range is about the same as last year's flagship too. We also ran into some issues when it came to taking pictures of people. You get aggressive skin brightening and smoothing, and for some reason these shots often come out blurry. Samsung has stated that they will fix this in a future software update. This problem also happens occasionally when you're taking portraits, but besides that, these look nice, with good subject separation. Just a note that these are always taken with the main cam, regardless of the crop you choose, so the perspective may not be the most flattering. Besides the issues with human subjects, we're happy with what this camera can do. Close-ups look especially good, since the large sensor is able to throw backgrounds dramatically out of focus. Shots taken with the full 108 megapixel resolution don't really offer many benefits over the 12 megapixel ones. You can capture more detail this way, sometimes, but it's not a guarantee, and the file size is huge. The S20 Ultra's periscope lens has plenty of zoom levels, though it is 4x zoom natively. The others are all done with digital assistance. To achieve a 2x zoom, the phone populates the center of the frame with fine detail from the zoom lens and fills out the rest with data from the main camera. You can often see an outline between the two. At this setting, the quality isn't much better than what you get out of the Note 10. In contrast, photos taken at the 4x level are impressive. You get pleasant colors, high contrast, wide dynamic range, almost no noise, and a high level of detail. For some reason, the default magnification on the viewfinder is 5x, not 4. These photos are almost as good as 4x, but are a little softer due to upscaling. We're happy to report that even if you go to 10x zoom, photos still hold up pretty decently. But when you go beyond that, the quality really starts to fall off. This is how we get to Samsung's highly advertised 100x space zoom. Nothing much to look at, though this feature may be useful on the viewfinder to check out faraway objects. Enough about the zoom cam, let's see the ultra-wide. Regular daylight shots are quite okay. You get punchy colors and fairly good dynamic range, but detail isn't improved much from the Note 10. There is no autofocus either, which is a pretty big omission for such a large and advanced camera setup. Now let's move on to low-light photos. With this large sensor, the main camera delivers excellent images, with nice detail and well-contained noise. Colors are punchy, and the dynamic range is very good too. If you turn on night mode, you get even better development in the shadows, and it helps with the glow around light sources. Colors are even more saturated and noise is wiped clean. The bad news is that it can take up to 10 seconds to capture a night mode photo. When it comes to low light performance, the ultra wide angle cam is a noticeable improvement for Samsung. It manages to record decent detail when there's enough light, and has decent dynamic range for this kind of camera. Again, night mode lifts up the shadows nicely. Highlights are better retained, colors are boosted, and there's less noise, but the images are slightly softer. When it comes to zooming at night, sticking to the telephoto's native 4x zoom level will get you the best quality. These photos are actually pretty good. There's a lot more detail than you'd expect, and colors and dynamic range are impressive. Night mode is available here too, and gives you an improved definition of light sources, punchier colors, and a boost in shadows, but some sharpness is lost. You can zoom at the other levels, and even with night mode too, but these will result in softer images at lower magnifications, and almost unusable ones if you zoom in too far. Selfies are taken with a 40 megapixel quad-Bayer front-facing camera. These are really good, with plenty of detail, nice colors, and excellent dynamic range. Just watch out when choosing the field of view. The cropped mode is really tight. But it does automatically zoom out when there are more people in the shot. You can record 4K selfie videos and these look excellent. There's great detail, nice skin tones, and backlighting is well handled. Stabilization is decent, but it crops the frame quite a bit. One notable feature is that you can switch from 4K video on the front and the rear main camera on the fly. Let's continue with video, but on the backside. The main camera records in 4K at 30 or 60 FPS. 30 FPS video is quite good, with competitive levels of detail, good contrast, lively colors, and wide dynamic range. 60 FPS video has some extra sharpening going on, but colors and dynamic range are similar to the 30 FPS ones. You can also shoot video in 8K at 24 FPS from the main cam. Compared to 4K videos, these are cropped, and the level of detail is nice, but not mind-blowing. The cropping occurs because this mode uses a portion of the full 108 megapixel sensor, but without the binning involved. Unless you're playing back on a high-res monitor, it's really hard to see the benefits of 8K video compared to 4K. Now let's look at the videos by the zoom camera. At 4x zoom, the 4K 30 FPS output is coming natively from the telephoto. This footage looks excellent. However, turning on stabilization crops the footage, and it's still not that steady when handheld. Zooming in further, understandably, will lead to a loss in quality. The ultra-wide-angle cam's footage is nearly identical to what you get out of last year's Note 10, despite the different hardware. That's not a bad thing, and these videos are very good. The colors are also nicely matched to the main shooters too. Stabilization is available in all modes, and it's optional. You can disable it if you want. Then there's Super Steady mode, which uses the ultra-wide cam in both available magnifications. The tighter field of view is just cropped in further. In Lowlight, video quality is awesome, a substantial improvement over the Note 10s. This footage has low noise, nice colors, and great dynamic range, almost as if night mode was on. There's a cool night hyperlapse mode too. Quality here is just as impressive, and we really enjoy the light trails coming from the car's headlights. It's much more dramatic than what you can achieve with the Note 10. One feature missing on the S20 Ultra is 960 FPS super slow-mo video recording. You get something similar, but it's recorded at 480 FPS and digitally interpolated to 960. But you do get a new feature called Single Take. It allows you to capture photos and videos from all rear cameras simultaneously for up to 10 seconds. The result is a mashup of photos, videos, and animated GIFs, hopefully usable ones, of the special moment. So there you have it, guys. Actually, all of the S20 Ultra's cameras provide some level of improvement over the Galaxy Note 10s. We're fans of the main camera's natural bokeh, and photos from the telephoto cam's lower zoom levels look amazing. The nighttime ultra-wide shots are impressive, and we're loving the nighttime video recording. However, there are some things that didn't live up to the hype, and it's strange that Samsung's marketing focused on them so much. Stills from the 108 megapixel main cam aren't much better quality-wise than the Note 10s, and photos at higher zoom levels just aren't good, especially the 100x space zoom. And just throwing it out there, the ultra-wide camera still doesn't have autofocus. Overall, €1,300, about 40% more than what a Note 10 costs, is too much to ask for this setup, and this phone. We're really more excited to see what the cameras on the regular S20s are capable of. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you on the next one.